Sammy, and I am back with another video. I missed you guys so much. I know it's been a little minute, little teeny tiny minute, maybe a couple days. I think the last video I posted was a maintenance vlog, and that was like a week and a half ago or so. It's not been that long, but it has been a little minute, guys. I have been really busy the last couple of days. And I guess that's the reason for this video, because I do want to share with you guys an experience that I had recently, and I feel like it was like a learning experience with me. And I was like, you know, how many other people maybe feel like this, or maybe don't feel like this, or you know, have went through this kind of situation that really don't talk about it. So I wanted to share it with you guys on my channel. You guys, make sure you comment, like, and share. Smash the like button. I love you guys so much. Shout out to everybody for the 400 subscribers. And yeah, let's get into this video because it is very interesting. As you guys can see, I am a beautiful, yes. I'm a beautiful black plus size woman, okay? And in this society, we do get treated differently, okay? And I hate that stigma of always using being black or being a big person, using that as leverage of getting certain places, or, you know, always feeling some type of way. But when the shoe is handed to you and you know you got it, you have to wear it when it's in that situation. I go to the OBGYN every year. I have an OBGYN, so she's both. She's a obstetricianist, I think that's how you say it, and a GYN, so she can do both. She's, you know, she can do labor and delivery. She can treat you when you're not pregnant, treat you when you're trying to get pregnant. The after experience, she does the whole 9 yards, okay? So I had the same doctor since I was like kind of like a teenager, probably like 16, 17. And I had my menstrual cycle starting off at the age of 13. I guess you can say I was a late bloomer. I know my sister, my sister is like 5 years older than me. We're like 4 or 5 years older from apart from each other. And I think she started hers like when she was 11. So I did not get mine until I was like almost a freshman in high school. A late bloomer, okay? When I started having trouble with my cycle, that's when my mother was like, okay, well, let's go see, you know, maybe it's time for you to go see an OBGYN. So probably like, I think it was like 15 or 16 when we started going to the doctor and things like that. The problem that I was having when I was a teenager was my menstrual cycle would be so weird. It would be all over the place. Sometimes it would come, sometimes it wouldn't. And when it didn't come, my mother was like, okay, well, wait a minute. Are you having sex? Are you pregnant? It's not coming. What's going on? So at this point in time, I've always been a bigger kid, a plus size girl, a big girl, thickums. But I was a lot smaller because I was a child. You know, they were always like, you know, weight can take a place, stress can take a place. It, you know, sometimes it might be hereditary. So just to give you a little back history of my mother's side of the family, my mother had a total hysterectomy before she was 50. She had one of her ovaries removed right after she turned 30 because she had already had me. My grandmother, she had already had a hysterectomy before she was 40. She had breast cancer really young. My great grandmother, she had breast cancer, you know, so that whole thing of breast cancer or your ovaries and your uterus, my grandmother and my mother both had really long menstrual cycles. Sometimes they were really irregular. It runs in the family. And unfortunately, I actually found out recently it runs on both sides. So I have a biological aunt that I know from my donor side. And she actually told me that, you know, women in their family have the same issue. So I kind of got like a double whammy, basically. So it was really interesting. So we skip to now. I am 26. I have problems with my menstrual cycle still. I'm really, really severely anemic. My blood count sometimes gets really, really low, like, and I don't even know it's down. But recently, you know, I had a little scare, and my doctor recommended for me to go to the cancer center to see a hematologist, because my white blood cell count was really, really high. And most of the time when your white blood cell count is really high, they think like you have an infection or like cancer or something like that, because most of the time your white blood cell count is going up high to fight something. So I'm like, I feel fine. I don't know what they talking about. You know, they tested me for this, they tested me for that. Basically what's happening is like my white blood cell count is just really high to fight off any infections from happening at this point, because my red blood cell count is so low. So that makes them really go up to really get the fighting going. So they were trying to figure out, okay, well, where's the losing of the red blood cell count coming at? It's my menstrual cycle. Sometimes I go on for 7 days. It's been times I could, you know, go on for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. It's really, really weird. So I went to see my OBGYN, and the first thing she's like, let's do an IUD. Guys, I have heard so many horror stories about IUDs and things like that. In the past, I actually was on birth control, and it was for depot shot, and the depot shot really drove me out of my mind. I'm not even gonna lie. It made me want to jump out of a window. I'm not even like joking or anything. I don't know what it did to my hormones, but it just, it was not good. I did not like the depot shot. So when she talked about an IUD, I'm like, I really don't know about that. But it was the way she reacted when I was like, I don't really think I want to get an IUD. She kind of like was like passing off my emotions of you not wanting it versus you need to have it. And I kind of felt like, okay, if my doctor is not listening to me personally, then there's something wrong. So as you guys know, that we have visited the option of me getting the sleeve and things like that. It's in my records and, you know, all those kind of things. But at this point, I'm talking about something now with my OBGYN that's really, really important at this point. So she passed that over of, let's just schedule an appointment for your IUD and we'll go back to talking about your sleeve. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm with my OBGYN. I'm not with my surgeon. You know, my surgeon is my surgeon. We're talking about something else. So why do you want to talk about the sleeve right now when you're trying to make me have something inserted in me that I'm not comfortable with? So she just didn't really want to listen to me. I know I am a plus size girl. That is not a secret. You can see all of this. All this fabulousness, okay? You see it. I see it. So we're not going to do a sleeve today. You're talking about doing an IUD in less than 2 weeks. Come back in 2 weeks and we're going to have it, you know, inserted. I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me get myself together first. She did not listen to me at all. And at that point, I kind of felt nervous of like, you know, I know I'm a plus size girl. So am I just coming off like, I like a bitch? Like, maybe it was just me. I didn't feel comfortable. So this was 2020 when we had that conversation of the IUD. 2021 rolls around. And I already know that I missed the appointment to have the IUD inserted. And then it's my annual visit, not to have a pap smear, but to have a pelvic exam or whatever. So I missed that appointment too. I was just like, ugh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want that IUD. And she just did not want to take no for an answer. She was having nurses call me like, let's reschedule it. You really need to have it done. At this point, my hematologist has already scheduled multiple infusions to get my red blood cell count up. You know, she was just like, let's talk to the OBGYN. Let's try to get something going. But if you're not comfortable with an IUD, don't make nobody do nothing to you that you don't want done. Okay. So basically, long story short, I missed all the appointments. I stopped returning the calls. I just was like, and then, you know, at some point it gets a little nerve wracking because again, I take my health very seriously, such as like getting things in order, being on track with certain things. I take those things really, really serious. And, you know, my cooch is something that I use on a regular basis. You know, we're not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm a grown woman. I'm very much sexually active. I have a spouse. We uses this cooch. I used to use the bathroom, you know, all that kind of things. That is something that hangs over your head. Like, I miss these doctor's appointments and I don't feel comfortable. At this point, I don't feel even comfortable of even being in the room with my doctor anymore because she's not listening to anything I have to say. So I bit the bullet. I started looking for other doctors. I always feel like now at a certain point, like I'm at the age of, if I'm doing something or if I take something the wrong way or anything like that, if things just don't go smoothly, I'm always questioning myself, like, am I tripping? Or like, am I tripping? Or maybe it's just, I'm not hearing things correctly. I don't know what it is, but I'm always questioning myself now. So I called my insurance company. I started talking to them. They, you know, started fishing around for doctors and things like that. So I'm at the same hospital facility, just a different doctor, a different clinic. And the new clinic that I started going to as of the last couple of days, it is a natural fertility clinic, and she's an OBGYN as well. So she's the same thing. It's just they do things a little bit more differently. And let me tell you guys something. The atmosphere was completely different. Like, the nurses in there were very respectful. They were very caring. Like, for instance, I'll give you a prime example that really stood out to me. It might be something small, but it really stood out to me. So everybody knows I'm top heavy. I have a bigger back. I have bigger rolls, okay? It's a lot to love. But certain gowns do not fit my arms correctly. So the nurses were like, oh no, don't worry about it. We can get you another gown. It's fine. You know, they brought like 3 or 4 of them in there. I'm just like, it stood out to me, the simple fact of they're like, we want to make you feel comfortable. First of all, you're going to OBGYN. You're about to bust your stuff wide open. I mean, my stuff is pretty, so I've been told. But still, it's still an uncomfortable situation to be in when it ain't your man. You know, it ain't like it's God sitting there looking at you, and it's not your spouse, and it ain't your mama. I don't mean no harm. That's the only people I'm comfortable with, just seeing me butterball naked, just boom, you know. My mama diapered it. I mean, it's a lot more grown now, but, you know, I'm very comfortable with my mother. That's the only other person I'm ever comfortable with. And my spouse, that's it. So, it's a very uncomfortable situation, and you don't want to feel even more like, oh, they judging me. But, you know, they were really respectful. The nurses were really respectful. She had like nursing students that were in there. Even before letting them in, she was like, do you want them in here? Is it okay? I was like, I mean, they got to see a vagina one day if they want to be in this field. So, I mean, hey, it's all right. Come see a nice diamond. I'm not trying to be cocky or nothing, but, you know, I just feel like my stuff is the shit. Whatever. But long story short, everything was completely different. And the private conversation, she asked us to step out. We had a private conversation. Of course, you could see it in the notes because it is still in the same clinic facility, but just a different side of the hospital. I brought up the IUD because that was like, you know, that's that big thing that's on my chest. It's not even about a pap smear. It's not even about busting these legs wide. It's not even about none of that. The IUD thing I did not want to do. So, I talked to her. I'm like, I've been on the depot shot before. I don't want to do that no more. The IUD, you know, they're saying it's the best way to, you know, stop your period for a while and basically, you know, get the blood count together, stuff like that. She immediately tells me, she said, well, the good thing about picking a natural fertility clinic, you know, and a natural doctor like me, you know, we don't put you on birth control or do IUDs or anything like that. If something like that was to happen, it would be the last of the last option before we did all of that. So here it is. I'm worried about this the whole entire time. And I'm like, oh, it's not even on the table. Look at God. It's like, okay, I'm so excited. And for her to give me that reassurance of like, no, you don't have to do that. You haven't been on that. You know, the last time you went to her office, you hadn't had it. That's a year and a half ago. So if your blood counts, you know, your blood count is starting to go up because you have done, you know, I've done a couple of sessions of fusions at the center. I'm taking iron. Doing all these things has made the blood count go up. So you don't have to get an IUD. That assured me 10 times more than what my previous doctor had assured me. And then also I'd had my previous doctor since I was like 16, 17 years old. So you're talking about 26 now. Well, at the time when the appointment happened, I was 20, how old was I? I was 24, 25. So you're still talking about a large amount of gap that I've had you as my doctor, and you're not giving me any good information. You're not listening to my needs or my wants or my desires, and you're not realistically helping me. Right now, you just tell me what you want me to do. You know, so my doctor's appointment with her, I had my appointment with them on the 26th of May, and it was amazing. They were really, really sweet. You know, everything turned out great. The nurses were nice. The students in there were nice. I love my doctor. She's a sweetheart. And everything, I was really, really comfortable. Even with being a bigger girl, you know, listen, I ain't got no problem with throwing these legs up, okay? Feel like this. So when it comes down to going to the OBGYN and doing all those kind of things, that stuff don't bother me. But for some women, it does. That does bother them if they're bigger or whatever the case may be. So I feel like you should be going to some place that makes you comfortable enough, even if I'm not comfortable, but I'm comfortable enough to do it with my doctor. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody is as confident as me. Not everybody is as comfortable as me. And you don't want to be put in a situation of feeling uncomfortable in an uncomfortable situation already. And it makes you not want to go back. It makes you not want to set your appointments. It's all discouraging from top to bottom, basically. Also, another thing that I learned that was really, really like alarming to me was from a teenager when I started my cycle, we'd already complained to the OB, you know, since I was like 17 years old, you know, her period is really irregular, you know, blah, blah, blah. Now here it is, I'm 26 and I have a whole nother doctor now. And she tells me the problem with irregular periods and where we really worry about it really is if it goes long, like over 3 to 4 months, because that can put you at high risk of cervical cancer, you can have uterine cancer. That puts you high risk if your body is not properly releasing, you know, what it's supposed to release when it's supposed to release it. So that really was like, wait a minute. You know how many years I went and I've had an irregular period and my old OBGYN just basically like, oh, it'll come when it's supposed to come, and you know, it's a good thing because you are severely anemic, so maybe your body's just trying to recuperate. You know, we don't have to worry about that. Everybody has irregular periods, and it had went long, like 3, 4, 5 months at a time, and she never prescribed anything. She never really budged and said like, oh, we need to find out what's going on. I was in this woman's office on the 26th for one visit, and she was like, yeah, we don't never want that to happen anymore. The minute you go a month and it's not there, you come see me. And she's making sure she's putting a priority on, you know, this situation, because technically it is really serious. And unfortunately, I'm 26 now, and I'm thinking about all the damage that I've done to my body, you know, just naturally listening to my other doctor to now. I'm just like, you know, it takes you aback, like, okay, well, wait a minute, like, what are you saying? But fortunately, everything checked out amazingly on the 26th. All the testing and all that kind of stuff checked out amazingly. I'm really, really happy that I found a doctor that fits my needs and we're on the same page and things like that. It really worked out. My message behind this video, ladies, is story time. Ladies and gentlemen, because it can go both ways, not just with OBGYNs for ladies, the OB for us, but just naturally men going to the doctors as well. The message behind this video is no matter what size, race, color, gender you are, do not let anybody discourage you or take your power of being comfortable. I feel like when you are comfortable with your situation, so it's like going to the doctors, picking doctors that have your best interests at heart. When you are more comfortable, the odds are better. The opportunity is better so that you can receive information, know what you're looking for, know what you're listening for, and feel more comfortable and at ease in the situation versus being tense and on 10. It's just like, it takes the stress away because doctor's appointments are already stressful. You don't want to add more stress to your situation or what you're going through, you know? And especially, I speak for my plus size women because as you can see, I'm a big girl. Taking care of our bodies is very important. We are just like every other woman. We have to go to the doctors. Just because our size, just because we are a bigger size does not mean that we don't have to still get our cooch checked. You still got to do it. You still should be doing it. Go get it checked out. Go get it looked at. Don't let nobody discourage you. If your doctor's not doing what they're supposed to do, get another one. What's that TikTok? Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you. Yeah, you better start doing that because these doctors, let me tell you something, they just, you know, we're patients and they see patients every day. But to your doctors, you should have a personal relationship with them, especially when there are things like, you know, your OBGYN. It's a personal thing. They're very personal already. You know, they get more personal than dates. It's a personal relationship. Those doctors are in your body personally. You should have leverage to say yay or nay or what you want or what you don't want. Don't let nobody discourage you or make you feel so uncomfortable with, so you feel like you have to do something or you can't make a proper choice of what is for you. I hope you guys got my message. This story time was very interesting. I learned some things out of this appointment and out of this situation. I'm very happy that I made the decision of taking myself out of uncomfortable situations I was not comfortable with and putting myself in a better opportunity and a better situation, and the outcome is 10 times better and I feel comfortable and I'm at peace knowing that, you know, my little purse is nice and intact. It's doing good. And let me tell you guys something. Lately I see so many people on Instagram, especially women, they talk about, when I see like advertisements for like yoni washes and yoni pearls and all these different kind of things, and I see millions and millions of women comment saying that's wrong for your pH balance and don't buy this and don't buy that, don't use Summer's Eve and don't use this. And like 60% of those women ain't been to a OB in like years. Don't be one of those women. Go to the doctor and get it checked out. Get yourself in a doctor's appointment and get it checked out. You know, it's not something that's to be played with. We all go through, we all have menstrual cycles, you know, so it's something that we have to do. And if you gotta do it, at least be comfortable when you're doing it. Okay, I love you guys so much. I hope you guys take some message or some tea or some advice from me. Make sure you guys comment down below if you have any questions. If you are in the Maryland area and you would like to know where my fertility clinic or my doctor's office is, maybe you want to go with a more natural direction for a gynecologist, and you live in the Maryland area, you know, you can always DM me and I can give you the information, or you comment down below and I can DM you on social media, and you know, I'll be happy to share some information with you guys. Or you know, just Google some in your own hometown, in your own area. There is a lot of natural doctors versus, you know, doctors that use you know, so many different high doses of medications and things like that. So just check in your local area, you know. I ain't no doctor or nothing, you know. Make sure you guys comment, like, and share. Smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Become a part of the family. Guys, you know, the one thing about YouTubing is always you see the glitz and the glamour. It's fun, and we games and we prank and we make up and we always pretty and things like that. But having conversations and telling stories that are uncomfortable and giving my uncomfortable stories so that you guys can learn something from me and I can learn something from you guys is very important. I don't want to just be a YouTube channel that just like, you know, it's all fun and game. No, we living in real life too. So I do want to be able to have these conversations and take these moments when there's real life things happening. I want to share these things with you guys. So, you know, join the family, and I love you guys so much. Make sure you follow my social medias. They will be in the description box below as well. Maddie's TikTok as well. His TikTok will be in the description box as well too. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.